Good Wednesday morning to you. It's about 23 minutes past 8 in the morning. Got back from McDonald's a little while ago. Same old thing every day. Want to give you an update on the CCTV, surveillance camera power supply that I worked on yesterday. Working very well. As I'll show you right now on a screenshot. Well, actually, it's I took the camera and aimed it at the monitor of the 4 cameras that are running. No more wavy lines, no more hum bars, no more herringbones, and whatever other patterns I've been getting. And they're working quite well. So here's the video now to show you. Okay, so now that you've seen that, I just want to let you know that it's working very well. The only complaint I've got now is it wiped out the 3885 AM ham band. It seemed to be right in that frequency range. So I wasn't able to hear. Well, actually, last night it was very little on the ham bands going on. I guess everybody's listening to the election results. Well, nothing yet, of course, but as of today. But it wiped it right out. I mean, when I take and move the supply around where I got it, in back of the DVR, which is actually the thing is sitting on the floor, the power supply that is, next to my UPS, and I'm moving it all over, and it does change the interference pattern. But it's so bad that I can't listen to the hams in the house. I have a Grundig shortwave radio in there in the bedroom where my computer is, and it's impossible to listen to it. But a little later on, after about an hour or two later, the interference seemed to have moved off to 3885, and it's down a little lower and also a little higher, but the 3885 now can come in without the interference. So the RF radiation from that switching power supply for some reason is changing. But the power supply is working great, and it's running lukewarm. So it's not running hot. In other words, I can run all 4 cameras on it. Not a problem. It's designed for 8 cameras, but it's only a 5 amp supply. I would really like to get a linear power supply. I should make up something that I don't need to worry about the RF interference. Of course, the DVR itself has a little Warwart switching power supply for it. And of course, the computer monitor, which is a 15-inch that I got on top of the DVR, is whatever is in that. It don't use a Warwart. It plugs right into the wall, but whatever is in that causes interference. The computer will cause interference, and the computer monitor will cause interference. So, but the power supply, the switching power supply from the for the cameras, are the worst. My cameras, of course, are the cheapest I could get. I get what I can afford. They're 2 or 3 years old. From eBay. Now, but if I can get a camera for $20 from eBay, that's what I did. So that's what they are. Somebody had mentioned UL approved. I doubt very highly. 250 to 300 milliamps each camera should draw. That's what one of my viewers said. I read the comments. I just haven't answered them yet. I could measure the current, but I'd have to cut into the cord and put a milliamp meter in there, and I'm not going to go doing that, you know. It's an awkward area to work in because it's between my computer desk and the nightstand, and I got to crawl down in the corner, and that's where all my wall warts are. So I move it around and it does change. Now those that metal shield that you saw, it just seemed to have been glued on top of the power inlet, the power jack on the side of it. So it seems to have that rubberized glue or whatever they use. Don't seem to be bonded electrically to the other heat sinks, which, like I say, was running cool on the bench, but I had only a voltmeter and a scope on it. There was a misunderstanding on one of the commenters saying you're only getting 3 volts out of that. I think I mentioned, and I'm going from memory, I think it's on the lowest that meter will read, that digital meter will read, and sensitive is 200 or 300 millivolts full scale. So I think that was like 3.1 millivolt or something like that. AC. That is not the DC output. I was trying to measure the ripple. I really need to explain things more. Even though the videos get very long, some people just misunderstand. That is not the DC voltage, that was the ripple, or RF, whatever it is. Now I could have used, you can't see it here, but I could have used this big HP AC microvolt meter here, and that would have given me the actual, because that'll read up to 4 megacycles, so that would have given me a more accurate reading as far as that is concerned. But the strange thing is, the scope showed some spikes and some ringing in there on the output. Again, I still do not know. None of my experts chimed in yet. I'm hoping my buddy Jim Asbell, he's up on this, will chime in and let me know if that's normal. Is that normal, Jim, to have those kind of waveforms on a switching power supply on the DC output end? I'm sure Jim will chime in or give me a phone call, which I don't even have my phone on yet. I don't turn it on until a little later. Get 99% robocalls on it anyways. So I don't really know what the normal, if it's supposed to have any kind of a waveform coming out of the power supply. When you're measuring a linear power supply, you're measuring AC ripple, whether it be a 60 cycle ripple or a 120 cycle ripple, depending on whether it's a half wave or a full wave rectification. But on a switching power supply, you're measuring high frequency noises, I guess you'd call them, coming out of what's supposed to be pure DC. So again, in the clarification, I should have explained everything a little more slowly, even if the video was twice as long. What I was measuring, and that 3.1, that was AC. The meter was set on the lowest, most sensitive scale on my HP meter, I think it is. It's a B&K 2831A. Okay, the most sensitive readings, I think, is 200 or 300 milliamps, millivolts, and that's the scale I had it on. So I was reading 3.1 AC. So it's 3.1, it's either 300.1, or I'm not sure how to read that. Math is no, you know me in math. So that I was reading AC and trying to read the ripple. Then you saw a reading of 12.4. Okay, that is the DC output of that power supply. I compared it with my other meter, the orange one, which was turned off at the time, towards the end of the video. But that read 12.4 volts. That power supply claims to have 12 volts out. So 12.4, both meters are agreed. So obviously if I was getting 3.1 volts out of it, nothing would work. So trying to clarify that, and I need to spend more time explaining things, because not everybody pays attention. Or maybe don't watch the video and just, maybe they don't listen. They watch the video, but they probably don't listen to my flapping. Maybe I talk too much. But that's why I repeat myself. I have to do that. But anyways, it's working very, very good. Not a problem with that whatsoever. So the only complaint I got is I can't listen to the hams in the bedroom when I'm sitting at the computer. A lot of times I'm listening to hams and there's nothing to watch on YouTube. And so I'll listen to hams for a while, or listen to them while I'm reading my email, or whatever it is. And the only way I can hear them is I only got about a 5-foot piece of wire going up on the curtain rod. So you're not going to get very much off of that. But when they come in strong, I can hear quite a few hams in there on the 3885. But when that switching power supply is running, it wipes out that section of the band. 3875 last night came in, but nobody was on it. There was hardly any interference. But there was a couple of guys talking on 3885, and it just wiped it out, because the noise level was very high on 3885, coming all from that power pack. So the question is, if I slap a big electrolytic on the output of that thing, I would have to make up an adapter. Let's say like maybe a 4,700 microfarad 12, maybe a 15 or 16 volt electrolytic right across the output of that switching power supply. Would that clear it up? I'm going to ask that question to my buddy Jim Asbell. He's the expert on this. Would that clear up some of that RF? Or what if I put a small cap? Because RF, electrolytics are not good on RF bypassing. So maybe I should ask the question, how about if I put a small cap across the output? Maybe open up the power supply where the red and where the black and the white leads come out. You saw them near them 2 green caps I replaced. What if I slap a ceramic disc right across that, like I don't know, with 001 or a .01 or whatever disc would fit right in there nice? Would that clear up that noise coming through, so I wouldn't get that horrible RF interference that's wiping out my AM band on the 80 meter band? That's the question of the day for you experts out there. All right, this is again HD. It took about 2.5 hours to render the video I put up there last night. Not too bad for what things are. But that's the question of the day. Will a little bypass capacitor across the output of that switching power supply would wipe out most of the noise? Or should I wrap the whole thing in aluminum foil? Thanks for watching, folks. Take care, everybody.
Hamburger. I'm very good at cooking hamburgers. I am very good at it.